Now, death is something some people find hard to talk about. In fact, many people find it hard to talk about. But we cannot run away from it. Sooner or later, we'll have to be comfortable and prepare ourselves for that day. We have to find ways to be at peace with it and prepare our loved ones. Love, Legacy, Dignity is hosting a webinar tomorrow under the theme, The Wonder of Life, alongside Readiness to Die. Let's discuss this further now. And I'm joined by Love, Legacy, Dignity's co-founder and media strategist, Mapi Mhlangu. Mapi, good afternoon. Welcome to ENC. Thank you for joining me here on Today this afternoon. How do you prepare? How does one prepare loved ones for one's death? How do you do it?
Good afternoon, Dan, to you and your viewers. At Love, Legacy, Dignity, we believe that, we need to foster conversation that enhance how we choose to live and also transform how we engage with the ongoing presence of our inevitable mortality. And how we do that, we offer a life affirming workshop, online workshop, which really deals with life choices, which deals with legacy, which deals with loving others and loving yourself, which also deals with having a peace of mind. So you ask the question, how do you prepare? You prepare by being at peace with the choices that we make. What do we mean by choices that we make? The program that we offer is divided into 4 sessions. And the first session is all about reflecting, taking stock. It's all about looking at the wheel of life, which is looking at all your roles and looking at whether you are the importance of those roles and the kind of efforts that you put in those roles and the level of satisfaction, because that gives you an opportunity to do gap analysis, to then look at how you're living your life if you are putting the right efforts at the things that are more important to you. We then move to something that we call relationship mapping, where we give you an opportunity to reflect on the state of your relationship, and you look at whether there are some relationship that needs repairing or there are relationships that need to let go. That's where then we encourage the process of repairing. Some repairing process requires that you undergo forgiveness. And the forgiveness exercise is a very difficult exercise, but it's one that is very empowering once we have let go, because forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean that the relationship is going to be the same, but it means that you are at ease. It means that you have retold the story and you know exactly what happened, why things happened, and you have acknowledged your role in whatever conflict that led to that relationship needing repair. And once we have done that, we then say, okay, now that we have done reflective work, and sometimes reflective work leads to you looking at things that doesn't work in your life. We say, at this stage of your life, you are here because we have made certain right decisions, you are resilient and you have survived and you have created a certain legacy for yourself. So we take you through affirmation exercise where we really look at what we've done and you've done well. All this is in preparation of you to face real difficult questions about mortality. No. When we move then to say, okay, how do you prepare for that? It's about head choices that you make. It's about choices, end-of-life choices that you made for yourself in order for the loved ones not to suffer during your loss, because we suffer when someone dies, but we suffer more if their affairs are not in order.
Yeah, I see. Tomorrow, Love, Legacy, Dignity will be hosting a webinar, and the topic is fascinating: the wonder of life alongside readiness to die. What it means to be ready to die whilst in the full flow of life makes me think: is there a right time? When is the right time? Let's say you discover you've got a terminal disease. Cancer, for example, terminal illness. Is it the right time to start speaking about it? When do you tell your children, for example, to say, you know what, I'm suffering from this and my days are numbered?
I think sometimes then we assume that our mortality is only going to come a result of us being ill. But the reality for me and you then is that as we wake up in the morning and we go to work, there's a possibility that we're not going to make it back safely because we're going to be involved in a car accident. So having courageous conversation about the end of life does not need to wait for you to be diagnosed with terminal disease. But once you're diagnosed with terminal disease, I think this week I was very touched by a post that was posted by Zweleka Mandela when she was informing us that once again she's been diagnosed with cancer and she's afraid to die, and because she has young children. And it made me think of a story that I once read on the Washington Post about a mother who was in her situation. She fought cancer with all her might, but when doctors said to her, listen, there's nothing that we can do for you, it's over for you, she then began to think, what gift and how can she be in the life of her 3 sons? And she started to write letters, and she wrote 3 letters for each son. And the first letter was a letter that was going to be given to her children upon the occasion of her passing. And the second letter was a letter that was going to be given to her children when they turned 21. And the third letter was going to be given to her children when they complete varsity. And the story is told by her oldest son, who tells us how difficult it was at varsity, but he says no matter how difficult it was, he knew that there was a letter waiting for him at the finishing line, and that got him going. And so that's a gift that
Yes.
her dying mother gave to her. So it's really important to have those conversations. Don't wait to be diagnosed with illness, because
That's
sometimes
that's a very important point, because you just don't know the when. So your webinar, is it a free webinar tomorrow and tomorrow afternoon, Saturday? I understand it's going to be happening. Is it a free webinar?
So this is a free 1-hour webinar, which is a prelude to the next workshop, online workshop that we call Live by Design, Finish Strong, that we're going to be hosting from the 3rd of September. So we host it once a week for 4 weeks, and it's that workshop is normally a 2.5-hour session, but the webinar that we'll be hosting tomorrow is a 1 hour, and we hope to introduce people to the concept of being comfortable with engaging with our ongoing presence of the inevitability of our mortality, and to help them to actually live by design and finish strong.
Yeah, Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu was a firm supporter of the Dying with Dignity campaign that happened, and it's a very sensitive subject, but it's good to see that your Love Legacy Dignity group is doing this work. Just the last thing, I mean, would you engage with Zweleka Mandela, for example, that she posted her pain and her fears around dying now that she's facing cancer again? Is it someone like that you could engage with? I'm asking this because we had a prominent South African in the person of Archbishop Desmond Tutu who was very public about this issue.
So, in fact, Archbishop Tutu was a firm supporter of Love Legacy Dignity. In fact, he wrote part of the session of the book that Helena wrote. So yes, we are open to engage with someone, but we are quite aware that people need to be ready to have those discussions, so we can't impose ourselves. But, one of the things that I've learned over the years, Dan, and the reason that I continue to do this work is that somehow I am able to live side by side and have conversation with people who are at their last winter, and I find that sometimes they just need someone to listen. They just need someone to help to talk. They need someone to help with ideas as to how they can be there for their children in difficult time. They need someone to be at peace with talking about issues, about guardianship, etc.
Okay, finally, if you may be brief in answering this one, what makes a person ready to die? After you've gone through your process that you've explained, what have you discovered? As you said, you've been there, present, and supporting many of them. What would make them ready to die and accept that they are living their last days or last hours?
A is having courageous conversation with loved ones. Secondly is doing what we call a checklist for checking out, someone who has done the administrative work. And first, You can go to our website, www.love Legacy Dignity, and download that paper file, which really help you to do the administrative work. But it is a state of mind. It differs from one person to another. The only thing that we can give you is ideas and the guidance of what you need to do administratively in order to make sure that you finish strong and you are ready to die.
Thank you very much for your time this afternoon, Mapi Mhlangu. Good luck with your webinar tomorrow. She's, of course, the founder of Love Legacy Dignity, and she's a media strategist as well. I mean, really, it's a very tough subject. You need those courageous conversations. Don't wait until it's too late. Talk to your loved ones all the time, because death is part of life, as they say.